whenever there is a buying of a property, we will take time or we will give time. We will take time for buying property and we will give time for the buyer. And to hold on to this property for that person, we will take some advance. Correct? 1 crore property, he says that he will buy it within 3 months' time. He is giving us token money 1 lakh of rupees. Sir, please take 1 lakh of rupees. Within 3 months, I will come and register. Don't put this asset into an offer list to any other person. It is exclusively reserved for me. I will come and get the property registered within 3 months period. So what the vendor will tell? It is for you only. But within 3 months period. Within 3 months period, if you are not coming for registration, if you are coming the first day of the 4th month, I will say, who are you? If you are coming on the last day of the 3rd month, I will invite you. We will all go to the sub-registrar's office. I will give all the documents. You will sign. Remaining 99 lakhs, you have got to pay. Only on that consideration we are taking it. This is what the vendor will tell. Imagine the buyer failed to turn up. 5 months later, he is just coming up saying that, sir, now I am ready. The vendor is saying, who are you? I do not know. The property was intended to be sold. Now I already sold. Sir, you have breached the contract. I have not breached the contract. You have only breached the contract. He would tell that he had sold the property. He would not have sold. Are you understanding, all of you? So, there is a forfeiture of advance. What do you mean by forfeiture? Not refunding the advance that he had taken in a failed attempt of selling the property. On that, Income Tax Department is telling it should be returned. But between the buyer and seller, they have decided not to claim this money. That means 1 lakh of rupees will belong to the seller only. And the buyer will cannot question, because it is agreed in the document itself. Before actual sale is made, there will be a document they will be making called as agreement to sell. In that, the vendor will tell, within 3 months, if you don't come, I will take this 1 lakh of rupees, I will not return. Closely follow. If you were to be the owner, when you have taken a gift from the previous owner happened to be your uncle. He had gifted the property to you. He had committed this sort of forfeiture in a failed previous attempt of sale. That 1 lakh of rupees what he had forfeited, will that affect you? Will that affect you? No, is the answer. Like what family members of Valmiki told, that is what Income Tax Act also is telling. What is that? You can take up the cost, but you cannot take up the forfeiture. You cannot be taking up that forfeiture. If the same person were to sell, the person who forfeited is effecting a sale, then cost of acquisition from which you are expected to deduct the forfeiture amount or the amount which got forfeited. All of you, are you understanding, all of you? So, in the cost of acquisition and amount, we will call that as advance, forfeited. One is vendor is the original owner. For indexed cost of acquisition is equal to, all of you closely follow, for indexed cost of acquisition, it is cost of acquisition minus amount forfeited into index year of sale. YOS stands for year of sale divided by index year of purchases. All of you closely follow. A cruel part is always there. The cruel part is always there. I will tell you what is that cruel. This had happened in the year 2000. This had happened in the year 2005. This is happening in the year 2013. One thing which you need to accept and you should not question as what is given in Income Tax Act, I am telling you. When you have an index like this, this had happened in the year 2000. This had happened in the year 2005. How these two items can be adjusted just like that? Because one happened in 2000, the other one happened in 2005. So, Income Tax Act is telling when a person had unduly benefited, we will not give him the benefit of adjusting the advance amount based on the index prevailed in the year in which he took advance. We are penalizing him by allowing this deduction from the cost of acquisition as if this amount advance forfeited had also happened in the year 2000. This is a real cruel matter that they have just done. So, therefore, you should accept what is given in Income Tax Act and proceed. So, don't put a question saying that it is not appropriate on the part of the Act to tell like this. So, you may amend if you become the Finance Minister, or you may influence the Finance Minister when you are becoming a person close to that Finance Minister. So, therefore, what is in the Act, I am just telling you, cost of acquisition minus amount forfeited multiplied by index of year of sale divided by index year of purchases, where vendor is the original owner. When vendor is not the original owner, when the vendor assumed the property from a previous owner on account of such transfers which are not regarded as transfers as per section 47, then only the cost of acquisition of the previous owner alone will be taken up, and whatever sins that he had committed in the form of advance money forfeited will not get associated with me, that will go off. Is that clear, all of you? So, imagine, so this is one particular scenario I will just take up. Copy, next page. Vendor is a subsequent owner, got property through one of the means as in section 47. Advance forfeited, then he got as a gift 2007, got gift. Cost of acquisition of previous owner, advance forfeited by previous owner, got gift. That means, in this case, what will happen is that, what will happen? Cost of acquisition multiplied by, what would be an appropriate thing that we will be doing is year of gift. Year of sale divided by year of gift. Is that clear? So, cost of acquisition of the previous owner will be considered, but the index of 2007 will be taken up, and of course, year in which sale is happening, the index should be taken up. Is that clear? There are only two types.